Hi there, lovers and friends. I'm so sad right now. This is legitimately my 4th time recording this video, and Jared just pointed out that there's something that I'm clearly doing that I'm not supposed to do. The universe is like, no to this. So the first time I recorded it, I was just way too emotional. I've never been so happy in my life, it hurts. I don't even know how to describe that feeling to you. The second time I recorded it, I was outside, and so my voice was in this super annoying octave that while I was editing it, I wanted to punch myself in the throat, so I was like, you guys probably would feel the same way watching it. I started having sex before I even understood the basic fundamentals of how my body worked or how I even experienced pleasure. As a result, my early sex life wasn't really about me. Actually, at times I felt like I didn't even have to be there. And then the last time I recorded it, which I felt really good about it was silent. Over the various takes of me doing this video, the purpose has kind of shifted every single time. So we'll see where it goes this time around. The first thing I wanted to kind of address is why are you here? And why I am here, and sort of the miscommunication or sort of veering off that we've kind of gone along of late. And some of you guys may be privy to that, some of you guys are not privy to that, but I'll explain what I'm saying. So in the video that I made about my open relationships, that was probably the first time I've experienced that amount of sort of judgment and criticism and negativity in that sort of concentrated way that I had. And I recognized in myself that instead of taking that as an opportunity to be a leader in the community, I was just like the rest of them. You know, I kind of stooped to people's level without sort of remembering why we're all here together and focused on the way that I felt about how you're responding to me. Here's the truth. My videos are made not as a sort of experiment for you guys to piece together all these different things in my life and try to make this grand assessment of who I am. They're made for you to see yourself. They're made for you to find sort of a commonality or thread or a truth you hadn't thought about, or to begin a conversation that you were afraid to start or never even knew that you should start in the first place. That is the purpose of this channel. And so it is hard for me when you guys misuse my videos in that kind of capacity, because I hope the reason why you're here is because that you trust that I know myself. That you trust that I put the work in, whether that is through school, whether that is just through time, whether that is through one-on-one counseling with you guys and listening and learning from you and finding myself, you know, through your experiences. I hope that you have that trust for me, and that's why you hit subscribe. That's why you press play on a button. So when you guys make these gross character assessments about me based on a limited amount of information that I gave you because I wanted it to be for you, it's a little hurtful. But again, as a leader of a community, I had to find a way to deal with that in a healthy way, which I apologize to anybody, you know, who I was abusive to in the comment section, because that is not what the goal of this channel is. And this whole experience kind of had me thinking, because in this, a lot of people were like, oh my God, I thought I trusted you. I thought I knew you. I thought I believed in you. We're totally different. That's okay. Experiences, nature and nurture make up your decision-making process. They make up who you are. Because we have completely separate nature and completely separate nurture, we're not going to come to the exact same conclusions. We may have a common goal in mind. We may have something that we want to accomplish together, but the way that we think to get there as individuals will always be a little bit different because we don't have the same experiences. So it's natural for us not to agree on every single point. How I came to embrace my style of relationship does not reflect how you came to embrace yours. But because I know myself, because I put that work in to understand who I am on a very everyday level, not just in front of you guys on the camera, you have to trust that your rules don't work for me. That what it is that you've come to know is true for you may not apply to me. But in return, I have to give that to you. And so when you guys are defensive and when you guys are very firm in your beliefs about something, I have to respect the fact that it has taken a lot of years and conversations and relationships to get to your place. And I respect your truth, and I can learn from your truth. It makes it less easy for me to hear you when you're judging me. But nonetheless, that's the skill that I have to pick up and learn. I watched a dope interview with Obama, which I'll link below, which he talked about this, you know, taking criticism in all forms, and I'm trying to get better at doing that. The second thing that kind of happened of late that was like released a massive shitstorm in my world was the Winnie Harlow versus the other Australian Next Top model. And Winnie had made a comment trying to make fun of her sister who had made fun of her. But in doing so, she used a reference of a picture of that model that hurt that model. You know, she wasn't the target of the joke, but ended up being very deeply wounded, and rightfully so for doing that. Now, I stood up for Winnie, and I will continue to do so. And I hope you guys kind of piece this together. Like, in many ways, you know, she is my child. You know, I have an invested interest in this young woman's career, and I have been with her on this journey since she was 16 years old. Before she had a single follower online, before America's Next Top Model, before the Vogue magazines and all of the other covers she's done, like, I was the first person to shoot her and say, yo, you could do this. And I remain that person in her life to this day. And that is a devotion that I have taken up to say, I'm gonna stick by you. You're not a perfect person. You have a lot of growing to do. You're hurt. You've been deeply hurt, you know, for a lot of your life, and you're still adjusting to that in front of a massive audience. It's a very tough transition, and I stand by you through that because I believe in this woman and her purpose. I believe in what she's meant to accomplish in this world, like I believe in oxygen. And so that is the vantage point that I'm coming from whenever I discuss anything to do with this young woman, and a lot of young women at that. Now, a lot of you guys have a completely separate vantage. You've been hurt in certain ways. You've had conversations I'm not privy to, which is the reason why that comment that she made meant so much to you. And the fact that I stood behind her in any capacity deeply hurt you in a way that I don't understand because I'm not you and your experiences. There has to be, though, a general understanding of what the goal is. Our methods may be different, but if we can share a goal, maybe we can lose some of that hate and negativity that goes along with that. And I'm a part of that too, because I have to keep in mind, you guys were not there for the conversation I had with Winnie when the post first went up. And it wasn't the backlash of people because that hadn't come yet. It was the fact that she had hurt this model that she actually deeply admires, that, you know, she has studied this model because she thinks that she's fantastic and beautiful and great at her job. When she found out that she had hurt that person, she called me in tears like, oh my God, what have I done? What can I do to make this better? Like, I already DM'd her, she isn't writing me back. You know, what if she hates me? Just really focused on that individual experience. You guys weren't there for that conversation. So when I make a comment in defense of this woman who I believe is growing and has a very fast learning curve and is getting a great opportunity to do so because she has to hold herself accountable to every single thing that she says. When I make a comment in defense of her, you don't know all that backstory. And maybe you don't have to know. And maybe there's a better way for me to stand up and stand behind this woman's growth without offending people. And so I'm still learning that and still experiencing that. All this to say, it kind of opened my eyes. Sort of all this negativity has opened my eyes to something that we do have a lot of differences amongst us. And we do have different ways of dealing with things and different ways of experiencing the world. But what I hope, and I guess I should ask you guys right now, in the comment section below, let me know, why did you press that red button? Why did you click on this video? You know, what is it that you wanted from the Shan BOODY experience? And I hope in my mind, I pray the reason why you're here is because you were looking for permission to pursue pleasure. You were looking for permission to pursue pleasure through career, through relationships, through sexuality, through self-discovery, through comedy even. And this video is designed in that exact fashion. I created several different entry points, you know, like the makeup video that I have and the hair videos that I do, the comedic sketches that I do, some of the like clickbaity things that I do. They're all designed so that people find me and say, hang on a second, this girl is doing something different. And I think I want a bit of that magic. And I hope what you find that magic to be is freedom to be myself. Freedom to express myself and live out my dreams in a world where there's a lot of judgment and opinion, but I've found a way, and I'm still working on, you know, completely freeing myself of that, but I found a way to find that stream of who I am. Now, who I am is shooting off in different directions and it's changing all the time, it's morphing, it goes with the weather, but I'm true to myself in this moment. And I found rules that apply to who Shan BOODY is, which is why I have this channel, and I hope that's the reason why you press subscribe. And if you are here because you are looking to make pleasure a priority, but more importantly, you're looking to understand what pleasure means for you, then I hope this announcement means something to you. I've been wearing this necklace now for the past 2 years straight, and I've worn it on multiple shows. I've promoted it and I've talked about it, not because I was getting paid, but because I just believed in it. I love the design. If you guys don't know, if you don't know this by now, vibrator, it's 4-speed actually, but it looks like a railroad spike. Some people think this is a vial, some people think it's just a really cool ornament. People have no idea what it is until I turn it on and show them. And so it's my choice who gets to be turned on by this. And I am now sharing my very own special edition version of this necklace with you guys. And this is the point in my channel where I want to switch from individualism to all of us sort of coming into these multiple entry points and trying to decide for ourselves, you know, why are we here, what we're here to do, to a community mentality. When we're all very clear on what this channel stands for, what the movement is. And mind you, movement is a swarm. And I learned about the swarm effect this year. A swarm may seem like it's just this mass amount of things going all over the place, but in the center of that swarm, there's direction, there's purpose. You know, there's a goal that we're moving towards. And so I consider us to be not like an army, not a marching band, but we are a swarm. You know, we're all sort of unifiedly moving towards a place of liberation, of sexual liberation, of personal liberation. But how we're going about doing that may seem chaotic and different at times. We might be bumping heads, but at the center of it all, that's what this channel is moving towards. And that is what this necklace is a symbol of. I fell in love with this necklace because it also is my right to mystery again, and I look at my sexuality as such, which is why it hurts me sometimes when you guys make, you know, sort of overt sexual comments about what you would do to me sexually or what you think I'm like sexually. I'm not giving you permission to do that. You know, I'm sharing my knowledge with you, I'm sharing information with you, and I'm sharing my personal experiences with you, but you're not invited, you know, to sexualize me in a way that I didn't consent to. And that is what this is. This is, if I want to tell you what this is, I can. We can have that teachable or that sensual moment. If I don't want to tell you, it ain't none of your business. And furthermore, if you already know, because sometimes people come up to me like, oh, I know what that is. And that just tells me I know who you are. You know, I know a little bit about you, and I know that we're on the same team, moving towards the same goal of normalizing something that makes our lives better. I did a video about the insurmountable positive effects that orgasm has on your life, on your health, on your body, on your psyche, and even just a symbol of orgasm, whether or not you use it as a sex toy or not, is a really beautiful and powerful thing. So that to me is what the common goal here is. The second thing that makes this necklace hella exciting to me was that I got to put a custom engraving on it, and I chose the words, I own it, they love it. I own it, they love it was something that I probably adopted in September of last year. And at that point, a lot of things in my life were not great, were not aligned. You know, I was in relationships out of loyalty and duty. I was in a professional relationship out of a contractual obligation that I knew wasn't fulfilling for me. I was doing traditional media and not doing YouTube, and I was in this rat race of never really finding an audience and a voice. And then at some point something clicked where I was like, fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Like, fuck the loyalty and fuck the contracts and, you know, fuck the right way of doing things. Like, let me just get to the heart of what it is that Shannon Boodram needs in this moment, and let me cultivate that right now. And that is the beginning of a massive turnaround in my life. It is the beginning of my YouTube career. It is the beginning of my actual career as like a working sexologist, where I didn't need like any kind of secondary income. I know I got new management, I got a new agent, things opened up. That's why this year has been such a massive year for me. I started a relationship with a really beautiful person that was not designed for a greater purpose other than like, at this time, I need sexual pleasure, I need liberation, and I need somebody who's devoted to doing that. And our shared goal in that way has led to a really beautiful partnership. But that would never have happened if I was like, no, I'm only doing things this way, and you know, I only want that, or I'm gonna stick with this guy who I've been with for 5 years, and that's the way it's supposed to be because I'm a loyal person. I had to break free of all that shit. And in order to do that, I had to ignore the other voice in my head that said, but what will they think? Will they love me still? Will they accept me? Will they think it's okay? When I just kind of threw that out the window and just said, you know what, they'll love it. If I want to do something and I'm happy doing that thing and I move forward with positivity and I'm fulfilled and I have pleasure in my life and I'm happy and I'm out there in the world putting this energy, even if I'm not doing it in a way that they think is acceptable, they're gonna love it. And my parents are an amazing example of that, and you guys are such a big turning point for mom and dad, because they were not passionate about my career choice. They were not accepting of it. They did not understand it. But when they saw the way that you guys responded to it and how you guys embraced it, and they came on this channel and saw the positive feedback, I've seen a ridiculous turnaround in them. And so this line, if I own it, they love it, really is how I've lived my life and why I found so much success and peace, in who I am today. And I want to share that with you guys. The second thing I love about the engraving on this necklace is the symbol I created, which is a basic symbol made off of an everyday keyboard. I'm not a graphic designer, but I thought, what tools do I have right now to represent what it is I'm trying to say? And this is the symbol. It's the womb, or it's the pelvic area. It's the pelvic area, and it's that center spark in the middle of it, that little bit of magic. And that is to say, the reason why you were on this earth fundamentally is good. Without you doing a single thing, I don't believe in original sin. I believe in original ordainment. I believe that the reason why you're here is a beautiful purpose. It is to create life. It is to put something great out there in the world. It's to reproduce yourself so that the good that you have can go on and do more good. That's gorgeous. And as long as you're in tune with that place in your life, that original purpose, and you give yourself permission to say, hey, the reason I'm on this earth is a really good reason. And so the things that I want to do on this earth must be good as well too. I want to make a distinction here, because there's some danger that can be had of that. Because I do think that your desires and your pleasure and your pursuit of seeking those things is a positive thing. But I also think you have the responsibility of separating what is comfortable from what is healthy. And those are very separate things. I'll use the example of food because I love using food as an example. Comforting food is fatty, oily, sugary, dense. There's a very low nutritional content in it, but when you eat comforting food, in those moments, you feel good. You feel, okay, I feel relaxed, I feel secure, I feel grounded, I feel good. Healthy food, though, is stuff that you may eat that feels good, but the next day you feel even better. And the following days, and as you continue to put healthy food in your body, you see positive effects in your skin and your hair and your teeth and the way that you interact with others and your health overall. Comforting food, if you continue to eat that over time, knowing it doesn't do any good for you, but knowing that that moment of satisfaction is what you're trading off for, you'll see the negative effects, of course, in the opposite spectrum. A lot of relationships are sugary, buttery, fatty, oily, dense foods. They don't help us grow. They don't make us feel good the next day. We wake up with that person's smell on our skin, and it makes us feel like shit. It makes us feel like we don't know how to love ourselves. That's not a pleasurable decision that is made out of a place of health. That is not a pleasurable decision that's made out of that tiny spark inside of you that wants for you to be your best self so you can create another copy of your best self. That is not coming from that. That's all the other bullshit that we've kind of adopted that's clouded that space and made it hard for us to see that spark inside. And so before you get to a place of pursuing your pleasure and pursuing your desires, you have to be super clear on the difference of what's comfortable and what's healthy for you. And that is where I want, again, the community around us to form and us to be on that process of eliminating that bullshit and getting to the pleasure, faster together. So when you buy this necklace, in addition to getting a small discount and getting the free engraving and getting a special personalized note from me that comes when you order it, I also want your email for you to be a part of a mailing list where we're going to do weekly private live streams. I'm going to initiate a program where I'm going to find ways to help you in what you're doing. So we're going to all join together and put one goal forward. And if I can help you by retweeting you or someone else knows somebody, we're going to create a community around manifesting the good in our lives. And then third to that, I'm going to add you to an ambassador program where I can give you guys money and some perks and some free stuff, for spreading the message, for wearing the necklace, and making it something that, again, you are proud to put out there in the world because it represents a greater message that we all hopefully are here because we subscribe to. So do all that in the info box below, find out all that information. I hope you guys have been waiting for this necklace to come out as much as I have. I wanted to make it perfect and make sure the message behind what it is that I was saying was perfect. And obviously, I've done this video 4 times because it's never really been good enough, and it probably never will, because I'm a human and I'm imperfect, but I'm trying, and I'm happy to be on that journey with you guys. And again, moving this channel away from individualism and more towards a community goal, where we're going to have differences, where we're going not to see eye to eye, but I hope that the love for the movement still binds us together. And I apologize if I've done things that have sort of broken your trust in any way, and all I can do is say I'm listening. I read your comments, I read all that you guys say, and I'm using that material, in a constructive way. And I want to say this too, because I had a really great epiphany that I mentioned in the other video where I was bawling my eyes out in, but I want to not cry. When I was growing up, my dad used to say to me all the time, like, people can't be nice to you. Like, your kind of personality, if people are too nice to you, you're going to walk all over them. Like, once in a while, I got to be an asshole to you. And that's the kind of person that you need. And I feel like I chose partners for a long time who represented that. People who were not always the super nicest to me, because I need that. I need to be roughed up a little bit. Now I'm with a partner who genuinely, I promise you, has never called me a bitch, said I'm stupid, said why are you wearing that, said why don't you shave your legs. Like, I'm with a partner who has offered so much positivity, so much encouragement, so much acceptance, that it is unbelievable. And in that, you guys, I'm learning to be a better person. I'm learning, because when I am negative, because I do have those, you guys have seen the comment section, I do have that string of like defensiveness, I do have that string of malice in me. And so when I do exhibit that in my relationship, instead of him throwing that back at me, he just lets me see it. And I always describe him, he's sitting beside me right now, but maybe not listening. I always describe him as snow, as like white snow. And when you see white snow and you're like, how beautiful. And then you step in it and you're like, oh, I see my footprint, and now this beautiful white canvas, I can actually see it. And then if you pee in the snow, you're like, oh my God, I just pissed in the snow and I can see it. Now, mind you, if that snow then took a snowball and rounded up your piss snowball and threw it in your face, you'd be so distracted by the fact that you have pee in your face that you would forget the fact that you did that first evil initial thing. And the power that this person has done for me has just been still to allow me to see the effects of and what it is that I do that's wrong, that's helping me to be better. And I say all that to say, you guys don't have to be mean to me. You don't. And I know that a lot of the times the things that you say, you're coming from a place of passion and of experience, and you want a different result out of me, and I'm adjusting, but in that adjustment, you don't have to be mean or malicious or nasty to me in order for me to hear or understand you. I do. And please have that trust in me going forward. And if there are things I can do to get your trust in return, shit, let's talk about it. You know that I'll see it, and we'll continue to kind of go on this grind together. Okay, so in conclusion, these are the 3 different metallic types of necklaces that you guys can purchase when you enter into the I Own It, They Love It movement. It comes in solid silver, which Jared has been wearing this necklace. A lot of times I talk about female sexual empowerment. I'm a female, so it's natural for me, but I do believe that this is a unisex piece that represents, again, the same thing for everybody. It also comes in solid gold, baby. I love this one. I gave the one that I had to Winnie Harlow, and so I've not had this for months, but now I have it again and again with my special engraving. And then this one that I wear all the time. This is the one you probably have seen for the past 2 years. I love mixing metals. This is rose gold and silver. That's my rebellion. Y'all see right now, like, I'm wearing rose gold, I'm wearing gold earrings, I have a silver necklace on, and I have like a bit of like gold finishing on my ring. That's just me saying, fuck the rules. You know what I mean? Like, I like metal. I wear all kinds of metals. I'm not subscribing to this all gold, all silver. No, I'll wear what it is I feel looks good, represents me at the time. And so I love mixed metal necklaces. This one is my favorite, the one I'll probably continue to wear. But if you are in this vein, those are options for you guys. And I'm excited to see what you choose to buy and what represents you best. That's all I have to say about that. Thank you for sticking with me through this video. It's longer than I expected. The one I did before was 3 minutes long, but it didn't really say all I wanted to say. So hopefully you stuck with it and rocked with me. And if you did, get yourself a necklace. Get yourself a necklace.